Hey everybody, this is Lee. I am in 2 Samuel, the first chapter today, and it's a story. Let me try to explain. Well, first let me say this. Have you ever tried to say something or do something that you're just doing it to try to impress that person? Maybe, you know, whatever, you just want to be their friend, you just want to impress somebody. You know, it doesn't seem like you're doing something real bad, and it might seem like you're doing something good, but yet you're not being honest totally. Well, what happened was there was this guy that came upon, he approached David in the Bible, King David, and he said, hey, I want to bring to you King Saul's crown and his armband. Because what happened was I walked up on him and he was in the midst of dying. And basically he begged me to go ahead and finish him off so that the other people couldn't get to him. So he goes, and so then basically I picked up his crown and his armband, and just because I am such a nice guy, even though I'm technically your enemy, David, I wanted to bring to you the crown and the armband just because I'm a great guy. Well, that's basically the story that happens in 2 Samuel 1. And what I found out is, I mean, as you know, at the end of 1 Samuel, I think it's chapter 31, yeah, you'll find out that David was, or King Saul, he could hear the Philistines coming and he didn't want to get killed by them. So he asked his armor bearer to kill him, and his armor bearer was like, no way, I'm not killing you. And so he fell on his own sword. And so basically King Saul committed suicide and killed himself. Well, if the Philistines truly had walked upon and found David or King Saul dead first, they would have took his crown and his armband, and they would have, you know, just shouted that through the streets. That would have been an awesome thing. They probably would have claimed that they killed him anyway, and not found him dead. But what we know from this story, David knows that this guy that is telling this story about bringing the crown and the armband, just because he's a great guy, what we know is that he is probably what is called a battle scavenger. That he is not from, he's not an Amalekite like he said he was, because they would have taken all the loot they could. And so number one, David knows this guy is lying about who he is, but he also knows that he's probably just a nosy person that was trying to impress David instead of the true story of what he claims to have happened. So David, and this stuff is kind of hard for me to swallow. David is just like, you're a liar and I know it, off with your head. And so he called over his guys and said, kill him. And so he did. And, you know, I don't know how God feels about all of that, but what the scripture was saying is lying, or having, what does it say? A life of deceit leads to disaster. A life of deceit leads to disaster. Now, usually that deceit, it can happen with a one-time thing where you say you're going to do something and then you don't, or you claim to be something that you aren't, or, you know, but usually it's a snowball effect. So when we start becoming something that we're not, or that we we say things that we're not going to follow through with, or we didn't really do, or something like that, it just builds a snowball, and it just leads to disaster. This guy truly, I mean, this is hard to swallow. He probably was just trying to impress the king. And he was like, you know, this is a good thing. I'm just going to bring David back, you know, the king's crown and his armband. And David was like, no, you are deceitful and you're not telling the truth. And so off with your head. Well, hopefully our heads aren't going to roll here in the United States of America. But when we lead a life of deceit, we have to deal with the consequences. When we do something and then we don't follow through, when we are somebody that we are not portraying, or when we are just trying to impress in a deceitful manner, it all catches up with us. It all does. So anyway, that is what I have learned this morning on 2 Samuel chapter 1. If you have any thoughts about it or anything like that, please let me know. Leave a comment. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm off to my school in Brownsville to go love on my kids. And if that little boy asks me if I'm pregnant again today, I'm going to kiss his head. All right. Talk to you later. See ya. Bye.